What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Career Retrospective. Today, we don't have Nate as he's dealing with personal matters, but I assure you, I have gathered the Avengers for this movie Career Retrospective. I am joined today by Metal Mike, Ginger Ninja, Trey, and Northland's very own Rusty Blackwell. How are you guys doing?
Yo.
Doing all right. Happy to be here.
Mike, I'm going to toss it over to you. You have the story that we'll dive into.
Alrighty. Well, I'm going to dive into a little bit about Heath Ledger's life. Heath Ledger is a talented and versatile actor. He lived a remarkable life that was tragically cut short. He was born on April 4th, 1979 in Perth, Australia. Ledger showed an early interest in acting and pursued his passion from a young age. He began his career with small roles in Australian television and film, gradually making his way to international recognition. Ledger's breakthrough came in 2001 with his role in A Knight's Tale, a medieval sports comedy. His charismatic performance and undeniable talent led to more significant roles in critically acclaimed films such as Brokeback Mountain and Monsters Ball. Ledger's dedication to his craft was evident in his ability to transform himself into diverse and complex characters, earning him widespread praise and numerous awards. However, it was Ledger's portrayal of the Joker in Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight that solidified his place in cinematic history. His chilling and mesmerizing performance captivated audiences worldwide, earning him a posthumous Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Ledger's commitment to the role was so intense that it reportedly took a toll on his mental and emotional well-being. Tragically, on January 22nd, 2008, at the age of 28, Heath Ledger was found dead in his New York City apartment. The cause of death was determined to be an accidental overdose of prescription medications. The news of his untimely passing shocked and devastated fans and the film industry alike. Ledger's death was a profound loss to the world of acting, and he was widely regarded as one of the most promising and talented actors of his generation. Heath Ledger's legacy extended far beyond his incredible performances on screen. His work continues to inspire and influence actors and filmmakers, and his impact on the film industry is undeniable. Ledger's unique approach to his craft, his fearless commitment to his roles, and his ability to immerse himself completely into his characters set him apart as a truly exceptional talent. Though his life was tragically cut short, Heath Ledger will always be remembered as a remarkable actor whose contributions to cinema will be celebrated for generations to come.
100%. Before we dive into it, Terry Gilliam has refuted many times that the role of the Joker did not make him go crazy, and that rumor was absolute bullshit. I still don't believe that.
I have to agree with you. Like, he did in 2006 he did a role called Candy. And if that didn't make him go crazy, Batman damn sure didn't.
Right. Rusty, you have any comments to make before we dive in?
No, I agree. I think that I think he was doing the things that a lot of celebrities at that age do, which is get into all kinds of prescription drugs or other things, and they got on top of him. I don't think I don't believe it's more complicated than that, but that's what do I know? I'm just some wrestler in Northern Ontario. So
Trey, any comments before we dive into the questions and topics?
It can't be the role of Joker. It's just we don't know where his mental state was at, and where he's been, and it's just sad, at a young career to be lost so high peak of his career.
Go ahead.
Well, I will say that Terry Gilliam in general as a director has like this thing where people say that he's got like curses because he's had so many massive problems with his films, like to the point that film sets have been like flooded out and washed away, and projects have been canceled, and all these things. So because of that, I think that's where you get a lot of these like people looking for those kind of things to associate with it, trying.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah, if you look at Terry Gilliam, like he's got, like, you could just look up Terry Gilliam, and you'll find a whole bunch of stuff. But I think that people are trying to associate, and that's what's happening. I don't believe it's that at all.
fair. Heath Ledger also never considered himself perfect, obviously. One of his famous quotes was, there's no such thing as perfection in what we do as actors. I mean, pornos are the closest you'll get to perfect because they're actually fucking. So
I have a question. And this is pretty much across the board to everybody. I was very limited on his movies. I only seen a few of his movies. I didn't get to see him play as the Joker. So reading about how he immersed himself into this character, would it be safe to say it's pretty much almost like close to a mirror image of what Jim Carrey did with Andy Kaufman when he played as Andy Kaufman, the Man on the Moon?
I think,
you know what?
go ahead,
You
Jim.
know what? I will even put him. I might get a hot take. I honestly think he did better Joker than Jack Nicholson.
No, I'd agree with that. Like, I think that Heath Ledger's Joker was fantastic. He definitely immersed himself in it. He learned clowning techniques, like as if he was training to actually be a clown. In addition to like all sorts of like psychological disorders, to try to like put himself into the ideas of all these different people that both the Joker was representing, but also the people that had parallel characters. Because as you remember in the film, there's a lot of different psychological disorders for the people that the Joker sort of manipulates into doing things for him, and they kind of focus on that to show this these various sides of like mental illness, and yet the Joker doesn't really seem to have any clear thing wrong with them. Like, it's not like they're this disorder or this, and they don't try to do that. They kind of keep it more like the person that delves and is part of that world. So yeah, I agree 100% though, that I think he won an Academy Award for this. Like, it's not a easy thing to play a homicidal clown in a movie and then go to the Oscars, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Not many people know this because this is very early on in his career of acting. In 1992, he was actually cast as an orphan clown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Well,
this isn't his first clown role per se.
So
Jax, what do you got for us?
Mike, you need to watch Dark Knight.
100% you do.
One thing.
100%.
But Heath Ledger to me was a short time we had him on screen. Every role he did, he poured everything into it. And I know we refer to like how deep he dove into portraying the Joker, but we don't look, and I'll bring it back up again, how deep he drove into playing a drug addict in the movie Candy. Like, he went to rehabs. He purposely went on the streets to be around heroin addicts and cocaine addicts, and like he dove feet first into every role and gave every bit of it, everything he had.
Yeah, he did. Just I guess a trigger warning going into this as well. He also, you guys forget that he also played a gay man as a very straight heterosexual male, and what he did in that, he dived into what he could for Brokeback Mountain. So he's a very much of a method actor in every sense of the word.
He actually played two characters like that in Casanova. The character he's played is gay also.
Yeah,
Well, that was also the same year as Brokeback, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. For him to do that too, I mean, what was this? I mean, Brokeback Mountain came out early 2000.
2005.
Mm-hmm.
and it, homosexuality and LGBTQ, it was still taboo, not as much, but it was still considered taboo back then.
Yeah.
For him to do that, I mean, props to him.
I mean, he also played in 10 Things I Hate About You, which is an underrated film in my opinion.
He played a Patriot as well.
Yep.
Patriot was a good movie.
There's a really weird fun fact, which so there's a band called Modest Mouse, which I've listened to, and he directed a music video for them that's like a cartoon music video. So
King
like
Rat.
Yeah, and if you watch that music video, it is extremely upsetting. Like it is not like it's it's like equivalent to showing it. So basically the music video is showing a whaling vessel going out and hunting whales, but instead the whales are driving the vessel and there's people in the ocean, and then you get to watch them harvest the whales, but they're humans. So it's just like pulling humans out of the ocean and like doing what they would do to whales, but they're humans.
Oh, wow.
So it's just kind of like unbearably terrifying. If it, like there needs to be like massive disclaimers when people watch it, but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, so that's Heath Ledger directed this. You're like, okay. So I mean, again, we talk about him taking his craft to these extremes and going to the places it needs to go, but it's like I think that's also part of the like the toll that it takes, where you're willing to look at things as much as you have to and explore subjects at that level and associate with them, and then possibly having to medicate yourself just to be able to get through your days because of the stuff you put yourself through. That I feel that's really depressing to say, but I feel like that's also like this is like also a little bit of a cautionary tale to everybody in the world that when you put yourself through all these really hard things, you have to like make sure that you have that support around you. You can't just keep doing it. So I'm sorry to be that way.
So touching on the music video thing, and then Mike, we'll get to the topics. He actually directed 6 of them. He directed 6 music videos. The titles are Cause and Effect, Seduction is Evil, She's Hot, Morning Yarning, Black Eyed Dog, Quicksand, and King Rat, which is the only one. The King Rat is the only one that is an animated video, but he's directed the other 5. And the Black Eyed Dog.
It's fine.
Thank you.
We're all a little crazy.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been an episode of Career Retrospective. Today's episode was Heath Ledger. Thank you to Mike for being our gracious narrator, because I struggle to speak reading text. So with that being said, Mike, where can people find you, sir?
You can find me at Metal Mike 714 all across the socials: X, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram. As far as on the networks here, you can find me every Monday night after Monday Night Raw on the Table Spot with Sean and Cam. You can find me on Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. with John on Rivet City Red Zone. And then my 15-minute little spin-off show, Rivet City Red Zone's Halftime Heat, gets dropped every Wednesday morning. You can also catch me on Movie Madness every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Prince. And you catch me on the Boom with Phil and Cam every Wednesday night after AEW Dynamite.
Sweet. Mr. Jaxbo, where can we find you, sir?
You can find me here on Mondays for Sorry for the Interruption, Tuesdays for NXT on Tap, Sundays on Rivet City Radio for Botch Spots and Chair Shots. Anything else you'd like to know about me, follow me on Twitter at Jaxpo2020.
Mr. Treyway.
Well, he pretty much said it. Find me on TikTok, the Treyway92, where I don't break chairs at all.
All right. And Mr. Rusty Blackwell, thank you once again for joining us. And thank you to Northland Wrestling for allowing us to take you off their hands for a few hours. But where can people find you, sir?
I mean, you can look up Northland Wrestling on Facebook. We actually got a show in North Bay this Saturday, January 20th. But I've been branching out and working with some other companies as well lately. I just finished a tour wrestling with Canadian Wrestling Elite and did 9 matches in 6 days in 6 towns, which was a lot. And I will say I had a lot of fun and I love doing it. But I also, my van, it seized about 2,000 kilometers into the trip, and the engine's gone, and I'm like, now I'm down to 1 vehicle, so I might be touring a little less until that gets fixed. But anyway, so if you could find me hitchhiking on the side of the road, please, give a wrestler a hand. That's where you can find me.
Make sure he doesn't have a pencil.
Right. That show that Rusty is speaking about this weekend, I believe it is Rumble in the North. This card is looking stacked. Make sure if you get any way to watch it, go and watch it. There's a lot of young talent coming. There's a lot of great talent already established, and it's just an all-around great family experience. So make sure you check out Northland Wrestling. Myself, Shadow, you can find me here every Sunday, Jax. Sorry for the interruption.
Oh, Sundays, that's right. I forgot we moved it to Sunday.
Where we don't give a shit about interrupting your church day. You can find me throughout the weekend with Ringside Chatter as we talk all things NHL related. You can find me on TikTok if you give a shit about my content, I guess, at that guy Shadow.91. For everything else, you could find us on TikTok at Off the Top Media. You can find us on Twitch at Off the Top Media. Find us on YouTube at Off the Top Media. I want to give a special thanks to Burning Bridges for allowing us to use their music for our streams. I also want to thank Northland Wrestling for allowing us to bring in their superstars, Rusty and others. It's a great experience, and we love having them on. And with that being said, this has been another episode of Career Retrospective. We'll see you in the next one.